chose family. I chose women. I chose America. I love you.
Well, you guys, it happened. Lost my job today after 13 years. Never thought a president could affect me this much. Never. Donald Trump. Guess now we'll never know how many licks it takes to get to the senator of the Tootsie Pop row.
That's why I'm so sick of these bitches. How many times you around, you won't say something that's lie. You won't say something that's lie. I don't understand how you gonna be naked and you don't understand what you want to say. Next time I wake up, you can just look me.
The county that overwhelmingly supported Donald Trump is about to lose its largest employer directly because of Donald Trump's policies. Now, this is Greene County, Tennessee, which is home of Artisan and who is the only supplier of penny blanks to the U.S. Mint. And because of Donald Trump's policy to eliminate the penny, they are on the verge of going out of business, which means everybody there will lose their job. Now, there's a trickle-down effect because the people that work there make the money to keep the other businesses in the county in operation. Now, they're begging Donald Trump, please, to reconsider this decision to eliminate the penny, but Donald Trump isn't listening. And once again, we find people that supported Donald Trump that are feeling the effects of his policies, that are starting to feel the hurt, and I could not be happier for them. This is what they deserve. We're all going to be in the find out phase, but it does put a little bit of a smile on my face that the people who were warned, the people who should have been able to see who he was, are feeling it first.
Well, you guys, it happened. Lost my job today after 13 years. Never thought a president could affect me this much. Never. Donald Trump. Guess now we'll never know how many licks it takes to get to the senator of the Tootsie Pop row. Fuck.
A Trump supporter has just lost their job directly because of Donald Trump's policies, and they are in a state of confusion. They are reaching out to Donald Trump for help and thinking that this should not have happened to them. Take a look at this. This person says, my wife is a nurse and was recently hired by the VA. Our home is packed up. We have a new home, spent thousands to move from Fort Worth to Waco. Following Trump's hiring freeze, the VA rescinded her job offer. Now look at what's highlighted. We are all huge Trump supporters, and I know this was an unintended consequence. What do you mean it was unintended? Did they really believe that Donald Trump could create policies that would only affect non-Trump voters, that somehow Trump voters wouldn't be caught up in all of this? This is the find out phase. This is exactly what you voted for, someone who would sow chaos. And it's not just going to affect the people you don't like, it will affect you too. And now all I can think is that this guy and his family are singing, I never thought.
This may be the last issue that Republicans, Democrats, and independents actually agree on, which is why I shouldn't be surprised Trump figured out a way to shit on it. That is that auto manufacturing is and should always be a core part of the American identity and the American economy, which is why it's so infuriating that a key American CEO just said he may have to lay off American workers because of Trump's policies. This is not just about tariffs. Yes, American-made vehicles are often made with foreign parts, especially electric vehicles, which are made with parts that aren't even available in the United States. Those tariffs are going to add to the problem, but these cuts are specifically because Trump wants to roll back Biden-era incentives for green energy development. Incentives American companies have already used to justify expansion and hiring. Incentives, I have to point out, are absolutely essential for American manufacturers, specifically in the electric space, because they are competing with Elon Musk, who makes his Teslas in China. This is all happening because Trump has a fundamental misunderstanding of how the free market works. By making it more expensive for American car companies to make electric vehicles here, he's giving a huge opportunity to auto manufacturers in Japan and South Korea, who are not subject to our tariffs, to build and sell electric vehicles here cheaper than we can make ourselves. Those manufacturers can then charge more because Americans can't compete at that low price point. This is going to get so bad so fast that Trump is going to have to roll it back, leaving all of this nothing more than a messy failed distraction, costing millions of dollars, costing thousands of jobs, and damaging the economy and the job market at a time when we need stability most.
Thanks to Trump, 17 years down the drain. Got walked out yesterday by 2 security guys who have been saying hello to for like 10 years. Senior analyst, almost $100,000 a year. Day and night studying for these people. Figuring out, like under a microscope, how much a woodchuck could chuck, if a woodchuck could chuck. Apparently, Donald Trump doesn't think that's important anymore. Thanks, Don.
I never thought this day will come. Well, I'm gonna regret what I did. I really regret voting for this guy. Like I did.
It's been, what? It's been like 2 weeks? 2 weeks. I'm done. You want to talk about regretting your vote? In 2 weeks, I went from the highest high to being unemployed. I lost my job last night, got a phone call. The repercussions of what Elon Musk are doing with the USAID has real repercussions for real people. For the last 7 years, I have been a shift lead on Project Bus, where we study to find out if the wheels on the bus went round around or not. And all of a sudden, Elon, who's not even elected, gets in, and I'm out of a job. What do I tell my family? What do I tell my kids? This isn't a joke. This USAID stuff is not a joke, man. It's affecting real people. And the worst part is, what if we never figure out? What if we never figure out if in fact the wheels on the bus do go round and round?
It's the big news right now. While you were sleeping, a federal judge in New York handed Donald Trump and Elon Musk a huge loss in court. A judge blocked any access to any Treasury Department payment system for Elon Musk and any Doge employee, any special government employee, any political appointee. The federal judge did this temporarily, at least until February 14th, until another judge can hear the full merits of a case pending filed by a number of states' attorneys general. The federal judge also immediately ordered anyone who has had access to destroy any and all documents and records associated with their access. This decision was handed down at like 3 a.m. in the morning. It is a significant loss for Elon Musk and Doge, because even though they may have only had, quote, read-only access for a period of time, 2 Doge employees did have access to sensitive Treasury Department payment system. And well, now they're not allowed to. A federal judge is completely blocking that. I'll do a full breakdown of what this all means on my Substack this morning. So be sure to subscribe to the link in my bio. As always, comment below your thoughts, spread the word, and follow along to stay updated on all the news you need to know about. There'll be more to come soon.
We are going to play defense. There are 2 special elections that are going to happen in Florida in April. And if we can win those 2 seats, we can tie up the House of Representatives and we can stop every piece of legislation that the Trump administration tries to put through. Now, I'm going to tag Hawk. He's a friend of mine on TikTok. Him and his brother are coming up with a comprehensive plan of action items that we can do to help in this special election. Please go follow him, but I'll be sharing as many of his tips as possible. So 10%, less than 10% of registered voters show up to special elections. So even though these areas are deeply red, we can win them. We can win these seats if we actually show up. So the first thing I want you to do is to call the DNC, 202-863-8000. I want you to call them and tell them you want them to put money and resources towards these 2 races, because right now they've done nothing. And we need to advocate for these 2 seats. So please share this video, follow along. You can follow Hawk, and we will come back with more and more tips that you can do. But make this phone call today. Thank you.
Question for everyone. So if Elon Musk and Doge are saying that our federal funds should not be used for school, for disaster relief, that everything should be pushed down to the state, then why are we paying federal taxes? We're paying federal income tax for what? For war? For you to build a new resort in Gaza? For you to pay the billionaires more money by giving them extended taxes? For all of the billionaires' pet projects to supply grants to Elon Musk and his Tesla company and to his Space Force? Is that what our federal funds are for? Just for Trump and his pet projects? I frankly don't want to pay federal income tax anymore. I'll pay state if that's how he wants to go.
You want to know the real reason for Elon Musk's hostile takeover of the federal government? It's not about free speech or draining the swamp. It's not even about cutting waste. It's about money and power, and Elon has billions at stake. Let me explain. The truth is, Elon owes almost his entire wealth to the American taxpayers. His two primary companies, Tesla and SpaceX, got started and survived with massive assistance from government contracts, policies, and loans. Today, Elon Musk's companies hold more than $15 billion in federal contracts. Through these companies, Musk interacts with nearly every government agency, but despite being one of the top welfare queens of federal contracts, not all of those interactions are friendly. For example, one of the agencies Musk has infiltrated and all but dismantled is USAID, the agency that oversees strategic aid around the globe. Last year, the Inspector General at USAID launched an investigation into the agency's relationship with Musk's company, Starlink, and their presence in Ukraine. And shortly after dismantling the agency, Musk bragged that he was, quote, putting USAID through the wood chipper. Then there's the FAA, which has fined SpaceX for neglecting safety regulations at their launch sites, only 4 months later, a SpaceX rocket exploded minutes after leaving the launch pad. Musk has since forced the FAA administrator out of his job and is now digging into the agency's national aviation system. These are just a couple of the dozens of conflicts of interest Musk has in his new role as our co-president. On top of the billions he stands to earn from dismantling agencies that regulate his business, Musk is laying the groundwork for Trump to pass a massive tax cut for billionaires and big corporations. But don't worry, the Trump White House says that Musk will police his own conflicts of interest in his new role.
Hello. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today I offer up verbatim. The Orange Bloated Donut put out this post yesterday. It makes me physically ill. Are you ready? Here we go. Bear with me. At my direction, we are going to make the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. great again. I have decided to immediately terminate multiple individuals from the board of trustees, including the chairman, who do not share our vision for a golden age in arts and culture. We will soon announce a new board with an amazing chairman, Donald J. Trump. Last year, the Kennedy Center featured drag shows specifically targeting our youth. This will stop. That's all bullshit, by the way. The Kennedy Center is an amazing jewel and must reflect the brightest stars on its stage from all across our nation. What are you going to have? You're going to do plays with Sylvester Stallone, Mel Gibson, and that other twat? Can't think of his name. Angelina Jolie's dad. For the Kennedy Center, the best is yet to come. Okay, let me tell you something. For someone like me, who was in the entertainment industry and considers himself somewhat of an artist, and who still does participate in said entertainment industry, I couldn't think of a worse person to be involved with the Kennedy Center. This, in my opinion, is absolutely fucking hideous. You enjoy your day.
Have you seen what the Arab American group is rebranding themselves as after Trump decided to turn Gaza into the Riviera of the Middle East? Yeah, the Arab Americans for Trump is now going to be Arab Americans for Peace. How stupid. How stupid. Like, fool me once, shame on you. Did they not see what he did his first presidency? How he did those no-fly lists and we're banning people from coming into the country and all these different types of things, and you thought he was going to be good for the Middle East? Are you out of your mind? Now, fool you twice, it's a shame on you. You guys helped elect Donald Trump. Swing states of Michigan, Arizona, places like that with larger populations of Arab Americans, and you decided to use your platform either by stumping with Donald Trump or reaching out to voters in the community or using this platform, TikTok, right here, to tell people either to not vote for Kamala Harris, stay home and not vote at all, or worse, vote for Donald Trump. So yeah, you're going to rebrand yourselves from Arab Americans for Donald Trump to Arab Americans for Peace? Give me a break. This has got to be one of the dumbest things that you thought he was on your side. The devil looked you in the eyes, told you exactly what he was going to do, and you went right along with him into the depths of hell. And now you're surprised it's hot in here? Like, it's just like those Venezuelans in Florida. Stupid people that you thought you weren't going to be deported like everybody else he was going to target. And somebody's going to come in the comments here and say, oh, another white man talking where he shouldn't. No, I don't give a shit what color you are. If you voted or helped get Donald Trump elected and now you're feeling regrets or surprised that he went back on his word or that he's a liar, you're a dumb son of a bitch. I don't care that I'm white. I don't care if you're not. I don't care what color anybody is. If you believed he was going to be good for any color, any race, any tax bracket other than his own rich billionaire friends, you're a dumbass. You're a dumbass. So Arab Americans for Trump, you can change your name all you want, but hopefully this video will serve as a reminder and a legacy of the fact that you supported him, you took the ship down with you, and now we're all begging for help because of groups like you.
I've tried to take this multiple times now because I'm at a loss for when are we gonna fucking do something about it? Post all you want. Oh yeah, the Declaration of Independence says that not only do we have the right to overthrow a government that no longer serves us, we have the duty to overthrow a government that no longer serves us. Okay, well I don't think it fucking serves us anymore, guys. What do you think happens when the generation raised on Tris Pryor and Katniss Everdeen has had enough? Okay, well we were raised on those things and we fucking had enough. From the sounds of it, we've had enough. I've fucking had enough. When are we gonna do something about it? This cannot be an issue for our children. I was taught in public school that revolution occurs when the gap between the haves and the have-nots is so large that it can't be tolerated any longer. Well, doesn't seem like we're willing to tolerate it, but we're acting like we're willing to tolerate it. Now is the time to get your friends together, to have uncomfortable conversations. This is no longer a bipartisan issue. This is not a party issue. I have never been patriotic or a nationalist in my entire life. I've never felt strongly about this country, but now is the fucking time to be both of those things. If not just one of them, be both of them. Because this is not American, right? None of this is American. We were founded as a country with the idea of freedom to be who we wanted to be, say what we wanted to say, and hope that we built a better future for our children than the ones we had for ourselves. Does it look like we're doing that? We just watched a presidential inauguration with 3 of the most richest billionaires in the entire world front fucking row. And then one got on stage. And we know what he fucking did. Oh, it's a Roman salute. No. Then you do it. You think it was Roman salute? You get up in front of a large 20,000 people and you fucking do it. We know what he did. So now is the time. We're watching our world burn. We're watching our country not take care of us. Are we just gonna wait until we're all out on the fucking street? With what little power we have left, it is time. It's time to organize. It's time to get serious. Because before we know it, the opportunity is going to slip from us and we're no longer going to have any margin of wiggle room. Because fire is catching. And if we burn, we need to make them burn with us.
All right, people, let's look at some similarities to what is happening today under Trump, the Shitler MAGA party, Project 2025 happening in full swing. Let's take a look at that in comparison to what was happening when Shitler and the Schnazis were in power. Shitler broke the Treaty of Versailles. Trump has pulled the U.S. out of NATO and the Paris Climate Agreement. And who? Hitler targeted the Jews and other minorities and anyone who didn't fit with his ideology. He started raids, deportations en masse. Trump is implementing policies that target immigrants and minorities and anyone that doesn't fit in with his ideology. And he has started mass deportations and raids. Shitler used his propaganda to portray the Jews and other minorities as a menace to society, that they were the problem, that they were the enemy. Sound familiar? Who does it sound like? Trump. Trump used the same rhetoric to say that immigrants were a threat to American society, that they are the problem, that they are your enemy. In both Shitler's case and Trump's case, that is a lie. Hitler also promoted German nationalism. He was hardcore promoting that they needed to return to the glory days of Germany. Sound familiar? Make America Great Again. Trump pushing the nationalist narrative that basically that's all that matters. You know, the rest of the world doesn't matter. Helping your fellow man doesn't matter. All that matters is you and your country. Not a country for everyone, only a country for those you deem qualify. Hitler tried to erase history. He tried to erase history from the history books about the Jewish people, about people he didn't deem worthy. And guess who is also in the process of doing that today? He hasn't even been in power a week, and that's what he's doing. He stopped all diversity. All diversity. You can't even learn about the Tuskegee Airmen anymore in the military. Yep, that curriculum has been wiped. Oh, and Trump's Secretary of State, Rubio, he's put a halt on all passports that are trans passports. So if you are a trans individual, yeah, you're not getting that application approved. Welcome to 1933 Germany and on, because that is what is happening. And these are just a few examples of similarities, because I can go on and on and on and bring receipts. And women, yeah, you're not out of the woods, because you thought that the states were bad with their abortion laws. Yeah, they're coming for a national abortion ban now. Yeah, the federal government. Take a look at what is going to be on the agenda in Congress. And you need to be paying attention to each and every bill. Who believed Schittler's lies and rhetoric back then? Who believes Trump's lies and rhetoric today? Who supports them? Who remains silent about them? So I know one thing. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I am going to be remembered for being on the right side of history. I am going to be remembered for speaking up and speaking out and helping however I can for those who are losing their voices and losing their rights here in this country, and for speaking out against the person and the people who are responsible. What side of history are you going to be remembered for? Are you just going to remain apathetic? Are you just going to wait until it actually affects you? Or are you going to do something now?
I wanted to add a little bit more nuance to the video where this comment is from. So essentially, the history of democracy is not really as much of a successful one as I feel like we are brought up to believe, at least here in America. Democracies rise and fall all throughout history. It happens a lot. So when European settlers broke off from Europe and came over to America and, founded it or whatever, they drew up the Declaration of Independence and wrote the Constitution and everything. They looked at history, at the democracies that came before them, what made them strong and what brought about their downfall. So specifically in the United States, our Declaration of Independence, our Constitution, our laws, our everything. The founding fathers wrote all of that with the past in mind. And they said, we don't want to slip into tyranny like it's happened in democracies before. I mean, for God's sake, we saw the Yahtzee party rise through elections. They were elected at first. Of course, not everybody knew what they were going to do, but that's the point. They didn't run on this platform of, we're going to do all these awful things. They ran on a platform that sounded a lot like Mr. Dumpy Trumpies. So when our founding fathers drew up everything that would make America what it is, they did it all with this stuff in mind. That is why, likely in school growing up, you heard so much about all of our checks and balances and how all the different branches of government are essentially equal and the power is distributed equally. Again, they did this because they knew what too much power in one part of government could potentially lead to. And with that in mind, because we are so protected, we are sort of an experimental nation. The world has never seen a democracy, or, some of y'all get really cranky and want me to call it a republic. They have never seen a government like this before, at least up until the point that it was created. So yes, theoretically, legally, there are all these protections in place that keep power checked. But like I said, our country is ultimately an experiment. There could be ways to take us down still. We don't know. But from a strictly legal perspective, the stuff that DJT and Elon Musk are doing, it is illegal. So I guess now it's just a matter of, will the people that we elected to put in charge to keep those checks and balances in place, are they going to do their job? We see people, like I mentioned in this video, like federal judges are doing their job and they're upholding the law, upholding the Constitution, telling DJT and Elon Musk, okay, y'all can't do that. That's illegal. We're stopping that right now. What I meant to be like a short clarification video ended up being me rambling about even more stuff. But yeah, I wanted to provide a little bit more context because I know there are going to be people on the comments in this video being like, well, you don't know, anything could happen. Which, yeah, anything could happen. That is very true. But legally, what should happen, and knowing history, we are very protected. And it would take, I think, a whole lot for the destruction of the American democracy specifically